Are the Toronto Maple Leafs on the verge of a game-changing deal? As the trade deadline approaches, whispers are growing louder about a potential acquisition that could bolster our lineup and deepen our playoff push. Picture this: a versatile forward who excels at both ends of the ice, ready to bring grit and skill to our third line. Could this be the missing piece we've been searching for? Stay tuned, because this could be a move that redefines our season. As we edge closer to the trade deadline, it's clear that the Toronto Maple Leafs are in a position where they need to make some strategic moves. The recent trades around the league, like Seth Jones heading to Florida, and the significant swap between New York and Colorado, underscore the urgency for Toronto to act. With glaring gaps in their roster, the Leafs have been linked to some big names, yet the reality is that players like Brayden Schenn are likely to come with hefty price tags, both in terms of money and assets. So, what if I told you that there's a less heralded option that could fit perfectly into the Leafs' plans without breaking the bank? Enter Ryan McLeod from the Buffalo Sabres. This name might not be lighting up the headlines, but trust me, he deserves some serious consideration. McLeod has been quietly impressive this season, racking up 14 goals and 17 assists over 54 games, while maintaining a +12 rating. He's not just a scorer, he's a two-way player who can contribute defensively as well. This kind of versatility is exactly what the Leafs could use, especially as they look to solidify their lineup. At just 25 years old, McLeod has already shown that he can handle the physical and mental demands of the NHL. His face-off percentage of 52.3% is a significant plus, adding to his value as a potential third-line center for Toronto. What's even more appealing is his contract. At $2.1 million, he's an affordable option that can help the Leafs navigate their financial challenges. Plus, as a restricted free agent, the Leafs would have the opportunity to either re-sign him or potentially gain assets back if he were to receive an offer sheet from another team. That's a win-win scenario for Toronto. Now, I know some fans might be thinking, is McLeod really the kind of player we need? Honestly, I'm torn. While he might not be the flashy acquisition that gets fans buzzing, we've seen time and again that successful teams utilize depth players to make a significant impact. McLeod could be that solid, reliable presence that balances out the team's offensive and defensive needs. He might not be the star that everyone dreams of, but sometimes it's the unsung heroes that make the biggest difference come playoff time. The clock is ticking for the Leafs. With the trade deadline approaching, the pressure is on GM Brad Treliving to make a move that not only bolsters the roster, but also aligns with the long-term vision for this team. If Buffalo makes McLeod available, Toronto must act swiftly. This isn't just about improving the current season. It's about ensuring that the team is well-equipped for the future and the playoffs. So, where do we stand? Do I think McLeod is the right path forward? I believe he could be an intelligent addition, providing the balance we desperately need. But I want to hear from you. What do you think? Is this the kind of move that excites you? Or are you hoping for a bigger splash? Join the conversation in the comments below. And let's not forget, every move the Leafs make is about our collective hopes and dreams as fans. We live and breathe this team, and every decision impacts our journey to finally grasp that elusive championship. So let's keep the dialogue going. Share your thoughts, your expectations, and your predictions. Matthew Knies is a name that has been buzzing around the Toronto Maple Leafs community lately, and for good reason. As a rising star in his second year, Knies is currently navigating the tricky waters of being a pending restricted free agent. While he's been focusing on his game, it's hard not to wonder about the status of his contract negotiations, especially after his impressive performance in last year's playoffs against the Boston Bruins. Many fans, including myself, saw him as the standout player in that series, and he hasn't slowed down this season despite a few injury setbacks. In his 54 games this year, Knies has managed to put up 21 goals and 37 points, while frequently playing alongside superstars Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. That kind of production is invaluable, and it's clear that the Leafs have a gem in Knies. However, with his entry-level contract coming to an end, he's been thrust into the spotlight regarding his future with the team. During the training camp, Knies expressed his desire to stay in Toronto, but he also made it clear that he's leaving the contract talks to his agent. I think this is a wise move. Focusing on hockey is crucial, especially with the playoffs just around the corner. In a recent interview, he hinted that fans shouldn't expect a new deal to be finalized before the end of the season. He stated, "I can't say I've thought much about it. There aren't many games left until the playoffs. I think that's something that will be figured out in the summer, and that's when I can think more about it." Now, here's where it gets interesting. Nyes is adamant about wanting to remain with the Leafs, even if outside offers come knocking on July 1st. He mentioned that he believes he and his teammates, including Marner and John Tavares, share a common mindset. They all want to stay in Toronto. But let's be real. If Nyes hits the open market, he's going to attract a lot of attention. And any team looking for talent will be eager to make him an offer. The challenge for the Leafs will be whether they can match that offer, especially since Nyes is a restricted free agent, meaning any offer sheet would need to be substantial for him to consider leaving. As a fan, I can't help but feel a mix of hope and anxiety. On one hand, I want to see Nyes continue his development with the Leafs, contributing to the team's success in the playoffs. On the other hand, the business side of hockey can be brutal. Can the Leafs afford to pay him what he's worth while also addressing other roster needs? These decisions will have lasting impacts on the team's future and on our dreams of finally capturing that elusive championship. The pressure is on general manager Brad Treliving as he looks to finalize the roster for a deep playoff run. The focus right now should be on securing home ice advantage and making sure the team is ready when the postseason arrives. But let's not forget that behind the scenes, these negotiations are looming. Will Treliving be able to strike a balance between keeping Nyes and adding the necessary pieces to push us over the edge? Honestly, I'm torn. Part of me believes that retaining talent like Nyes is crucial, but I also see the need for strategic acquisitions that could elevate our chances. And you, what do you think? Can the Maple Leafs keep Nyes while making the right moves to contend for the Cup? I want to hear your opinions down below. This is a pivotal moment for our franchise, and the choices made in the coming months will shape our path for years to come. As we gear up for the playoffs, let's keep our fingers crossed that everything aligns in our favor. Don't forget to activate the notification bell to get all the latest updates. Like, share, and subscribe to stay connected with everything happening around the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're in this together, and I can't wait to see how this season unfolds.